Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Arlecchino Listener by me. So let's get into it. You paced back and forth in the house, frustration simmering beneath your skin. The elegant velvet curtains and gilded accents did little to soothe your nerves. Across the room, Arlecchino stood with her arms crossed, her eyes sharp and unwavering. I don't understand why you're making this such a big deal. It wasn't reckless. I knew very well what I was doing. You snapped, trying your best to keep your voice even. You put yourself in unnecessary danger. And for what? A mere distraction? You could have gotten yourself killed. She shot back, her tone steely. I handled it, and I'm alive. I wasn't alone, and I had everything under control. And yet you came back injured. She countered, gesturing to the bandage wrapped around your arm. That doesn't look like under control to me. Before you could respond, the door creaked open, and Lily stepped inside. His eyes flickered between the two of you, immediately sensing the tension that filled the room. What's going on? Should I be concerned? Lily asked carefully. Your father seems to think I have no sense of judgment, you muttered, during Arlecchino glare. Apparently, I can't be trusted to make decisions. Arlecchino's eyes narrowed. I never said that. You didn't have to. Lily sighed, his smile strained. Okay. Clearly this has escalated. But, father, maybe you're being a little bit too harsh? Arlecchino's brow furrowed. Excuse me? Wine's not incompetent. Lyney continued, stepping towards you. They made a call. And yes, maybe it was risky, but we both know they'd never do something without thinking it through. They're not reckless. They're resourceful. You couldn't help but feel a rush of gratitude at Lenny's words. He had always been quick to offer his support, but siding with you against Arlecchino? That wasn't really expected. And besides, if you were in their shoes, wouldn't you have done the same? You've always told us that the decision that yields the highest results isn't always the safest one. So, you know. Arlecchino's jaw tightened. You could see the conflict in her eyes, the struggle between her protectiveness and the uncomfortable realization that Lyney had a point. Lyney, you weren't there. You didn't see how reckless it was. And you weren't the one making the call in that moment. Lyney replied firmly. Lion did what they thought was best. Maybe you should trust them a little bit more. You held your breath, half expecting Arlecchino to snap back. But instead, she remained silent. Her gaze flicked to you, lingering longer than you anticipated. There was frustration, yes, but beneath it was concern, or something else, something strange you had never seen from her before. You're taking their side, Arlecchino finally said, her voice quieter now. Lily's expression softened. I'm not taking sides. I just think you're both too stubborn to listen to each other. The room fell silent for a moment, and you weren't sure if Lyney's words had truly reached her. But Arlecchino's tense posture relaxed, just slightly. Fine. I'll think about it. That's all I'm asking. And maybe we can all try to have a conversation without biting each other's heads off next time, he said. That depends on her, you muttered, under your breath. But the tension had begun to fade. Arlecchino exhaled sharply, and you heard the door close, signaling that Lyney was outside. And she turned, stepping closer to you. I don't question your strength, she murmured, But I will always question any decision that puts you in direct danger. That's not something that's going to change, she said firmly, looking into your eyes. I know that. I do, he replied, and you sighed softly, your voice softening. But I need you to trust me sometimes. I'm not fragile, Arlecchino. Her fingers brushed gently over your bandaged arm, the harsh lines of her expression giving way to something more tender. I trust you, she said quietly. It's myself I don't trust when it comes to losing you. It's been so long since I've had someone so close to me. I don't know what I'd do without you, Mayan. The sincerity and vulnerability in her words made your chest tighten, and you reached up, cupping her face with your hand. I'm not going anywhere. You know that. I promised you, and I'm not in the habit of breaking my promises. Good, she murmured, leaning into your touch. Because I intend to hold you to it. You tiptoed, pressing a soft kiss to her lips, and she smiled, leaning into it. It was difficult for the two of you to share a moment like this, where both of you were honest about your feelings. And it wasn't often that arguments like this went well. You were fortunate that Lyney came in when he came, to diffuse the tension in the room. And you were sure to give him something in return. You had to. You would not let his work go uncredited. But for now, you were just going to soak in the affection that you could take from her. Because it was very rare to see her being so vulnerable, being so sweet and tender. And right now, you were going to savor it. Every single touch, and every single moment. It wasn't every day that you got her to yourself after all. And it wasn't every day that she was so agreeable. And so, for the rest of the evening, the two of you remained a little bit busy. For reasons unbeknownst to the rest of the children. Except, perhaps, Lyney. And that's only because he was a very good guesser.